and almost 6,000 that have given their lives for our country. Our goal is to be in every state and build homes for all of these if we can, God willing. And our founder and president, who you just saw, Dan Walrath, was a custom home builder down in Houston for 30 years and never had any ties with the military, and really felt God has led him to do this. And since 2005, we're almost up to 50 homes. And like I said, we work directly with the builders and the developers. It's you who we need. We need your help to do a 21st century barn raising. This is neighbor helping neighbor. We find families are coming back to your communities that have family ties here. They're coming home, and they need a hand up. This is not a handout. This is a hand up to get them back on the road to recovery and give them their lives back, so that they've earned that at least on the battlefield, defending us. How we got here to Odessa is thanks to April and David. They contacted us and asked us to come out and speak and bring some families in to be interviewed because they're wanting to build a home here in the area. And with y'all's support, we can get this done. I'd like to bring David up and let him say some words. Let me ask first, is there any questions? Does anybody have any questions or anything? Y'all are an easy crowd, I like that. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. What a great program. I'm really not a podium speaker. I kind of have to speak a little bit with my hands. I'm sorry. We are blessed to have a beautiful family here, the Cox family. I was going to just introduce a little bit of the family to y'all so you can kind of get to know them a little bit. We have Sergeant Ross Cox with his wife, Nicole. We have their 4 children. We have 2 daughters, Peyton and Hope, and 2 sons, Brendan and Asher. Yeah, I said your name. So November 15th, just of this last year, was a big change for the Cox family. Sergeant Cox was serving his 3rd tour of duty in Afghanistan. When his men, he was a platoon sergeant, he and his men came under fire and they were headed back to their vehicles. He struck an IED, a roadside bomb, and it knocked him back. He was initially treated on the battlefield and then flown to Kandahar, Afghanistan, where his left leg was amputated. He was then flown to Germany, where they did many other surgeries on his right leg, where they put a rod in it, and he had all different types of surgeries on his right calf and his left side where the blast occurred. Sergeant Cox had been in the Army. He's been in the Army for 11 years and had just re-enlisted for another 9. Cox family, Team Cox. We brought y'all here not to interview you. We brought y'all here because as you look out in this crowd, we are a group of builders, a group of drywallers, framers, city officials, and we are here to build you a custom mortgage-free home. Out there are, as I mentioned, drywallers, building officials. We don't know what war is like, but as Dan Walter said, we do know how to build homes. And we're so grateful. This might feel like a really huge gift, but we see our brothers and sisters, our fellow servicemen and women going off to war for us, for our rights, for our freedoms. And we are grateful for the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your service, and welcome to our community. Wow,
So I've been asking Dan for the last couple of weeks, it's like, hey, how many people are we going up against? And he's all, hey, I can't tell you that. Because he said we're going to be interviewed with several other families, and then we get to Odessa. We've prayerfully considered Odessa for a long time. Or not Odessa, but Midland. Midland, Odessa. Whenever I first got hurt, I was in the hospital from November 15th to right before Christmas. I got out of the hospital right before Christmas. And after I got out of the hospital, I was in a wheelchair for 6 weeks because I was non-weight bearing on my right leg, and I just couldn't walk. And right now, our life has been in turmoil. Our family's been torn up, and currently we're in a 3-bedroom apartment, and you know, sometimes I have to walk around on my knees to get something done. And it's pretty humiliating for this guy. It's not what I ever imagined. This isn't at all what I ever imagined. So with the deepest gratitude, I could sit here and talk to you guys for the rest of the day and tell you guys how thankful I am. And like Dan says, this isn't a handout, it's a hand up. I already have plans I've told my wife, you know, if God, because I'm sorry you guys are not building this house for me. God is. God has touched every one of you guys to build this house for us. And I want to recognize God so fully in this that He has built this house through you guys. And I love you guys already. We do have family in Midland, and I told Dan if we could rate our family on who we like the most, the family in Midland would be number 1 and 2, because our parents live in Amarillo. Her aunt and uncle can come over and knock on the door, and we'd open it gladly, but our parents, we would like for them to call. But we love them too, you know, but we've been in the Army for so long that it's just been, we're real comfortable being far away. We're in Alaska when I got hurt. And, you know, it wasn't a roadside bomb. It was a bomb that was in a ditch. It was a drainage ditch that was 3 to 5 feet wide. I had 20 guys in front of me that I was instructing on where to go, but there's a patrol leader that you have to put in charge of the group to get you out of there. And as a platoon sergeant, for one, I was the first of 28 guys on the ground in Afghanistan. And the order of march was, hey, if you're a private, you're the first one in the door. And that was the rules. The rules of engagement were, hey, when you're going in to clear a building, the number 1 guy is your most expendable guy, so that was me. And so I'd have to go in number 1 and clear a bunch of buildings in Afghanistan in 2001. Then I went back in 2002, and one of the team leaders broke his foot. So it was up between me and a couple other guys to be the next team leader in country. And so you get your training on the ground. So they said, hey, Corporal Cox, at that point it was, hey, you're the team leader now. And so doctrine had changed in MOUNT operations, and MOUNT is military urban assault training, where you go into doors to clear rooms. And that was 2002, 2003, and there had been a lot of research done. The number 1 guy was getting in the quickest, and the number 3 guy, where the team leader was getting hit the most. So where's the number 1 guy again? The team leader is up front, where he should be actually. And so here I am, a team leader again, and I'm going and kicking doors again. And my team is coming in behind me. So when I got to Afghanistan the 3rd time, taking up time, but I told you I could take y'all. We'll get into that later. But okay, so I got to Afghanistan the 3rd time. We just moved up to Alaska from Fort Bliss, and we were like, God, we got to get out of Texas, you know. And so we moved to Alaska, and I got hurt, of course. So God said, come back, which we're grateful for. So I get to Afghanistan the 3rd time, and my sergeant major, I walk up to my sergeant major, and he says, hey, Sergeant Cox, you want to be a squad leader or platoon sergeant? I said, hey, Sergeant Major, all I want to do is make your coffee. He said, what? What are you talking about? You can't make my, I said, yeah, this is my third time here, Sergeant Major. If I could just have a little room to make your coffee, I'm good. He said, no, there's 7 other guys that want your job right now. And I said, all right, well, I'll be a platoon sergeant. So the platoon sergeant is in the rear. He has 3-4 machine guns. I had a mortar tube. I had a guy that would get on the radio, my forward observer, and he would call for fire from any other direction that I needed it. And I was the guy that set up what's called the CCP, the casualty collection point. So when the guys are getting hurt, I get them secured. They come to me. And I was like, okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. I'm platoon sergeant, I got this. Okay, so I was in charge of 40 guys. I had 20 guys in front of me, about 15 to 20 behind me. And we're going down a drainage ditch, and there was 3 minesweepers in front of us. And 20 guys walked over the same spot I did. And I happened to step on an IED, and it blasted me up on my back. He's okay. He's okay. You say something? He's done. It blasted me up on my back, and immediately I was looking up from the ground, and I saw my knee pad up in a tree. And I talked to my medic. I said, hey, doc, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I just need to shake it off. And that's what I remember him saying. And I'm like, hey, doc, I think I'm hurt. And he said, yeah, I got you. And next thing I know, he's telling me my left leg is already gone. My right leg was just mush. And my whole left side was blown up to my left hip. And then it continued up from my underarm up to my elbow. I had a bunch of nerve damage in my hand. And, within 15 minutes I was lifted off the ground. But from the second I got hurt, I started thinking of my oldest daughter, Peyton, just came to my mind. You came to my mind very first thing, Peyton. And I don't know why. I don't know why it wasn't your mom. Cole, I'm sorry that it wasn't you. But then immediately followed my wife and my other kids, it's just like the movies. You gotta stay with me, just stay with me. And it's like they were carrying me to the bird, and we got so much gear on, and they're carrying me, and one of my guys is just staring at me, and he's all, you're my effing hero, and you're this and you're that, and he was all over it, and he was really there motivating me and pushing me forward to just stay with it. And I got on the bird, and we lifted off the battlefield, and then I passed out. And I woke up, I guess, a couple hours later without a leg. And I got to speak with my wife. But that wasn't the struggle, I was getting in the bathtub the other day. And I was thinking, me and my wife, we were arguing, it's a tough time right now for us. And I was getting in the bathtub, and I looked at my leg, and I was like, how is it that this 8 inches of my leg is giving us such a hard time? It's just 8 inches of leg, But it wasn't about the leg being gone, it's about the dislocation of our family, and us, just the uncertainty of what we're going through. And from the bottom of my heart, I give all glory to God right now for each and every one of you guys. And I was not expecting this at all. And thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave.